Good morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards. I have a video for you today. Get that. There we go. Always an adjustment every time I do a video. Silly desks on wheels. Anyway, this is a card we're making today. And I'm featuring the Merry Moose stamp set. And I'm using Toll Tidings Designer Series paper, this striped one. This is green on the other side. This is the paper. It's in the holiday catalog. And it's got some really cute papers in it. It was brought back from last year. I love this paper. So today we're using the striped paper. And I'll show you how I made this card. This is the envelope to match. And then the inside looks like this. I want to tell you I got this particular greeting from, let me show you where I got that. It came from this card kit that's in the Christmas catalog. It's called Joy of Sharing Card Kit. And it's got that's this sentiment right here. Wishing you a season filled with special warmth of friendship, the precious joy of sharing, and the wonderful blessings of happiness. And then it's got Merry Christmas, season's greetings to you and yours, and then there's a fir cone and little fir needles, and then some berries. And the card kit is actually cards that are the larger cards, but you can put pictures on them, or you can use the supplies that are in there and make the cards without the pictures. But they're the bigger cards. Anyway, that's where this stamp set came from, so I wanted you to know that. It's in that kit. So, let's get started on this card. Put it over here with our envelope. And this is the Merry Moose stamp set. I used this tree, the moose, the fill-in, the raccoon on the log, and that's all I used on this. And then for the Merry Christmas on this card, I used the Curvy Christmas Merry Christmas here. And then I used some dies, and I'll tell you which dies I used, just so I can get that out of the way, so I can put my stuff out of the way. This is the Christmas Layers dies, and I used this, and it's, I think it's mistletoe. And I used this set, and it's the Celebration Labels dies, and I used the middle one here, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used this one right here, which is in between the two largest and the two smallest. And then I used the Stitch Shapes framelits. I used the smallest oval, and then the smallest oval of the layering ovals, the scalloped one. I think that's all I used on this card. So the card base is real red, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, open up. I used some of these red rhinestones. Just 3 of them. It's my envelope. And I've got everything punched out and stamped, just to make this so this video is not super long. I die cut this out of a sheet of old olive. And this piece is about not quite 3 inches by 4 5/8. And I was able to cut 2 out of that. This is the real red. I stamped this with shaded spruce, and I stamped the inside sentiment with shaded spruce on here. And then I used some soft suede and early espresso, and I'll show you how I did that. But first we're going to glue this piece to the front of the card. As you can see, it's garden green on one side and real red on the other. So you can use whichever side appeals to you, the color. I liked the red for this card. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. So you just have a little bit of red showing. Okay. I cut this piece out of a piece of cardstock that was this size, like this. And this piece is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. This is for the inside. Let's set that over there. First thing I'm going to do is show you how I did the mousse. Because you'll need the mousse punch, the Merry Mousse, to punch that out. I used my Stamparatus, get this stuff out of the way, to stamp him. So let's get a couple of these things. It helps if there's something under when you're inking it. So, this piece of cardstock is the same size as this piece right here. But you don't need that big of a piece to do one mousse. You just need big enough so that you can hang on to it when you punch it out. I think I can get 4 mousse onto this. This is just a piece that I had. So, first thing I did is I wanted the outline of my mousse to be early espresso. So I inked this up in early espresso and stamped him on here. Now, like I said, you can get more than one out of this piece. I can put another one over here. But for the video, we're just doing one. Okay? Then I took this one, because I've already lined it up. And close this. Knowing me, I'll get my fingers or elbow or paper or something in it. This is soft suede. So we're going to ink up the fill-in stamp with soft suede. Now I looked up mousse on the internet because I wanted to know what color they are, and they're pretty dark brown. But this lined up perfectly. You can color him in if you don't want to use the fill-in stamp, but that turned out just beautiful. It's pretty easy to line up. So once you do that, you make sure and clean your stamps. So you don't want them too badly stained. Sometimes the early espresso will kind of stain your stamp, but it still works. So I'll clean that with my Simply Chamois. Just like so. Get them all cleaned up. And then after you stamp your mousse, you're going to punch him out. So let's put this aside. Back here behind me. And you're going to take your punch. And you got to make sure that your mousse is at the bottom of your paper, because that's the way the punch works. And then you're just going to punch him out. Let's see what I'm doing. Line him up. And punch him out. And there's your mousse. He looks cute. And I can get another mousse on here to make more cards. So now we're going to move this stuff out of the way. Put our card together. Okay, we're going to do some stamping on this. And use some Stampin' blends. So we want him to look We put him on there last. So the first thing I put on there was my little raccoon that's sitting on the log. I'm going to put him over here in this corner. And I stamped him with Early Espresso. Now I'm going to put something underneath. Put my, this is from my Stamparatus. It's just a cushion for the stamp. And we're going to get this inked up as dark as we can get him in Early Espresso. And then we're going to stamp him right over here on this side of my die cut. Just like that. Okay? And we're done with this color. Now I'm going to clean my stamp. I always try to clean them after I use them. I don't like leaving them dirty. So clean our little raccoon. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is stamp our trees, because they're going to go on before the moose and the mistletoe. So I stamped the big tree in Shaded Spruce. Full strength. Kind of up towards the top. In the middle. Well, a little off to the side. But mostly in the middle. Right there. Okay? Perfect. Now it's up to you if you want to color the trunk of the tree in a brown. I don't think it's necessary. I did it on my other card, but I don't think I'm going to do it to this one. So then you're going to take your small tree, ink it up, and this time you're going to stamp off. And you're going to put one right here so it looks like it's kind of behind that tree. There. Just like that. Oops. See what I mean? I get ink on everything. Do it again. Stamp off. And then put this tree right here. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a minute because I also stamped this tree on the inside of the card. So we might as well do that while we've got this out. So you're going to stamp one here. And then move up a little bit and stamp it a second time. Just like that. And then we're also going to do it to the envelope. I think our stamping's done after we do this. So stamp your tree here, or wherever you want. And then up a little and stamp it there. Don't re-ink it. And now you have, looks like, one tree behind the other. So we're going to close this, if we can. I always have trouble closing these without getting ink all over me, everywhere. Some of them are just really tight. So that's our Shaded Spruce. Now we're going to clean our stamp. We're almost done. We're done stamping. Close the card. Now we're going to do some coloring with Stampin' Blends, because I want my raccoon to have some color. So let's put a piece of paper behind him, because he will bleed through when you start coloring. So I took, this is light soft suede, and I'm going to color this log light soft suede. Just like so. It's very lightly, doesn't require much, it spreads a little, so kind of be careful coloring around your little critter there. Here's a little tree branch off of the stump, just like so. go off a little bit. Don't worry about it, because we're going to take our light crumb cake and we're going to just kind of do this so it doesn't look like they're floating in the air. I put a little bit of color under the trees, just like that. Okay. Now let's color our little raccoon. We're going to color him, his body, in light smoky slate. Like so. Nose around his eye. So pause. Because I wanted him, he needs to be colored. And then put some stripes on his tail here. Raccoons have stripy tails. Okay, then I'm going to take my dark smoky slate and color these stripes right here. Now I colored, put a little bit of color on his ear, the darker color on his little ears, and then I put it on his eye and it kind of made so this little eyeball couldn't see it. So you can take your black marker, basic black, find the point Indy I want, and you can put a little dot of black right there on his eye so his eye shows up, just like so. There. That way you can see his eye. And I could put a little dab on his nose. So his little nose showed up too, right here. Just a dot, not very much, just like that. So this is your Stampin' Right marker. Okay, that's all the coloring. Now I'm going to put this on the front of the card with dimensionals. And I put quite a few because I didn't want it to sag in the mail. As you know, they put them through a machine. And you want your cards to come out looking, you know, received by your recipient looking pretty. So we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. This card does not take very long to make. And we're just going to center this right here. It's like so. Okay? Then we're going to take our moose and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of him. So we're going to put one here, a large one, and one up here kind of by his head, or on his head, right there. And then I took some minis and I put one on each of his antlers. You just want to make sure they're not going to show through. Okay? Once you do that, then you're just going to put him on the front of your card. Just like so. Oh, I should have checked, make sure I was opening this right. So they look like little friends here. And you're just going to put him right there. Okay, now you're going to take this piece of mistletoe and I don't know where my thing is. We're going to put a little bit of glue on this mistletoe. It's down the stem, just like so. A little bit here. You don't need very much. And I'm going to put a little bit here, because that's needs to have a little bit. Some here, and a little bit here. You gotta be careful. You don't want it to go over, or you want glue where it's going to hang over. So you're going to just put that on here, just like so. Just make sure it's about like that. Okay. Then you're going to take your sentiment, glue it together. Put it on your, and you need 2 dimensionals for it. You could use minis if you want. And you're going to put it right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my inside on in so I can put my glue away. And put that on the inside of the card. Like so. Put the glue away. Now, last thing, I put some of these on there. It's red rhinestones. And then the card is done. What I did was just put them on a few, 3 of the little, looks like berries on this card. You can put them wherever you like. That's just where I put them. And that's your card. And your envelope. Simple card. Cute. I like this Merry Moose. It's the first time I've used him. Anyway, that's your card for today. I hope you liked this video. If you're interested in getting new products out of the I always put my stuff away and then I never know where I've put it. Anyway, you have a blessed day. Go to my blog and I'll have more information there. You can pre-order out of the spring catalog and the celebration. If you sign up as a demonstrator, you can pre-order out of that. If you don't want to sign up as a demonstrator and just want to become my customer, these products are in the Christmas catalog, the holiday catalog. So that's where you'll find most of these products. So you have a blessed day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. And until next time, have fun stamping.